Yeah, good morning, Andrew. And things are in full swing here in Buenos Aires. Just within the past half hour, we saw the President of the United States meeting with the President of Argentina at the Casa Rosada, the Pink House. That's the building that's famous for the balcony where Evita Peron spoke to the masses here in Argentina. They didn't use the balcony today. They used an ornate greeting room, but the two leaders had a handshake and a photo op, and we're expected to get on with the course of business here for the President now. He is expected within the hour to sign that new trade deal between the United States, Canada, and Mexico. One thing to watch for there is there's been rumblings here that the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, might actually not show up for that and might not sign in protest to some of the steel tariffs that the President of the United States has put in place. The expectation is that Trudeau will show up and will sign along with the other two leaders, but just keep an eye on that one within the next hour, because that's a moment of controversy that we could see here. Also, the President announced over Twitter on his way here that he's canceling his meeting with Vladimir Putin in protest, he says, of that Russian naval activity in the Ukraine, capturing those Ukrainian ships. The President announcing that while he was flying down to Argentina yesterday. The Kremlin responding with a statement of their own. The Kremlin putting out this statement saying that they regret the U.S. administration's decision here. Ultimately, they say that the discussion is important and they regret that it's been postponed indefinitely. So the Kremlin responding there to the President's cancellation. What's not canceled is that dinner tomorrow with Xi Jinping here in Buenos Aires. That's really the focal point of this entire summit. And the question is, can the United States and China find some way to back out of the trade difficulties that they've seen over the past year? That's an entirely unknown at this point. What experts have been saying is that the best case scenario here in terms of a trade deal is sort of a trade truce in which the two sides would simply agree to stop raising tariffs on one another and then work it all out over the next coming months rather than signing a big deal here. No indication that that is in the offing, but we'll be monitoring developments here throughout the next 24 hours, Andrew.
Tea Leaves reports out that Peter Navarro, who had not been on the guest list for dinner on Saturday, is apparently back on it. Does that change anything?
I think it does. So Peter Navarro, a White House official, confirmed for me, is attending that dinner with Xi Jinping tomorrow night. He is seen as the most hawkish of the China hawks inside this administration. The Chinese view him a little warily as somebody who is not working in their best interests. They feel that they might be able to work better with other members of the administration. So it certainly sends a signal. The question is whether the signal is the President wants all his people in place when he makes this deal, and so it's a unified front, or whether the signal is that the hawks are on the ascendance here in this administration. So it's a fascinating development, and we'll have to wait and see what they agree to tomorrow. The President, meanwhile, extremely frustrated. He was about a half an hour late to the Casa Rosada this morning. He was tweeting his frustration this morning with the Mueller investigation after that Michael Cohen guilty plea yesterday. The President tweeting that he'd done nothing wrong in exploring a real estate deal in Russia during the presidential campaign. So that's clearly weighing on the President during the course of the day today. And as we know, the President has to handle all of these different topics at the same time, right. All of these complicated global trade matters, and now the complication of the Mueller investigation weighing on him as well.
How much does that investigation, do you think, relate at all to the canceling of the meeting with Putin?
Well, look, the optics of the President meeting with Vladimir Putin after it had been reported that he was negotiating with Russians during the campaign to open up a Trump Tower in Moscow, those optics would have been bad. The President said that the reason he canceled this event was in protest of the Russian naval action in the Ukraine. So, take that for what it is. He gets to both register a diplomatic protest that there was pressure on this administration to make and to avoid those bad optics at the same time.